right, stand up, please. Salvador Tenkan. Shomenuchi Ikkyu. Shomenuchi Nikkyo. Shomenuchi Hirunagi. Shomenuchi Freestyle, Shiwase. Ski, Kogai. Ski, Shihonage. Ski, Kaiten. Ski, Freestyle, G1. Katadori Kokinage. Any Kokinage that was followed. Katadori freestyle. Alright, change it again. Yoga Menuchi Irimanage. Yoga Menuchi Irimanage. Yoga Menuchi freestyle. Change it please. Ushiro Ryotadori Ikkyu. Ushiro Ryotadori Shihonage. Ushiro Ryotadori Kotegaeshi. Okay. Breathe for a moment. And we're actually going to start, well, normally Aikido Sensei starts in a circle, but given that we don't have a ton of room, we'll start this way. Ike is just Ryo Kanadori, just shoulder drop. Okay? And when you're ready.
First of all, on a personal note, I feel like I just took my first key test. I'd rather be out there than over there. I'm really impressed that you remember the kata when you were completely hypoxic. That's one of the points. For those of you who haven't seen Aikido Sensei's Shodan test, that was very like a Shodan test. I left a few things out. I also did way more empty hand than he usually does, so that went on about as long or longer than most Shodan tests, which was the point of this exercise. Since we're really looking forward to not this test, but the next one. I think that something Matt likes to say, it looked like you doing Aikido. It didn't look like some other person, and that's great. I could tell when you got flustered. I could tell when you were out of gas, but it wasn't that you got, but running out of gas physically and being mentally flustered were completely different things. Because you got really wound up when Rob was your uke, and then when I switched to Katadadori Sankyo, which was a quiet, change your hand, be fussy technique, it fell apart because you were mentally out here, and it took you a while to get it back. Once you got it back, even though you were more tired, it didn't matter, you were more careful, which was interesting. So I think the take home for that is still rush. But I thought it was great. As Aikido Sensei says, very good, keep training.
So one of the things I think that is really important is that you were able to demonstrate a repertoire. So when it was Jiwaza, you didn't get stuck doing Kodagaishi over and over again. You were able to continue changing techniques and to come up with new techniques. And I think that's really important going into the next test, is that you have that repertoire. And so I can see the repertoire is in your head, that's great, and it looked good, and all of those things were coming together. Sort of all of my critiques are now adding some details so that there are crisper differences between things, so that hand changes are done really carefully and not rushed through. And that's going to really take your repertoire and turn it into a demonstration that you have in your head, which is really important for a Shodan test, the sort of whole basic lexicon of basic technique, and that it's at your command to use. And at that point, when you're Shodan, then you're at the point where you can move on and really start playing with things. And so I think you've got the repertoire now. The next stage is going to be getting all these fussy details so that they come out even when you're tired. But during the test, I saw some moments where you slowed down and did some things very carefully, where you put in the ira. You did the emote, and then you're like, now it's time to do the ira. And you carefully differentiated the ira. When people are not being careful at all, that just completely comes apart. And so I saw you doing that. I saw you throwing in some places where you said, oh, I need to do this all the way through and do all the steps. So I saw some pieces of that in some techniques. Now, the sort of my critique and my offer of advice for the future is to work on not leaving out pieces. The other piece that was good is that what Garth and Matt don't really know is we didn't practice pretty much any Joe takeaway or any knife takeaway when we were working on it. We worked only on sword takeaway. Mm-hmm. What's good is that you have to graduate on your test for things you didn't practice for. And so it's quite typical that something can be asked on a test that you didn't actually prepare for, and you have to do it anyway. And so you did hiccup a little through that, but you managed to wrestle down the feeling of, but that's not fair, that's not on my test, which arises spontaneously in your body, and you're just like, but that's not listed on my test. And so, but it is completely and totally normal that something is going to come up on your test that you just didn't prepare for, and you've got to do it anyway with whatever aikido you have. And like I said, what I noticed is that even though you were like, I don't really have this prepared, you techniques and trying to work your way through it until techniques started coming out right. And I saw as you sort of got back in the rhythm that you started to come up with the Joe techniques in a little bit longer, and I think you would have started, your repertoire would have opened up again, even though we didn't prepare it. And Tonto would. So that's sort of the other take home, which is there's going to be something's going to come up on your test that you didn't expect. And you just have to soldier through it, which you did, so that's good.
So, this is the last test you take in the building. From here on out, they're in other settings. They're in front of other people. The atmosphere, the energy, the dynamics are very, very different. My own experience was that taking my Ikkyu test, the time in between taking my Shodan test, was a major transition in my own understanding of Ikkyu. I would encourage you, between now and whenever the Shodan test happens, to squeeze as much as you can out of this transition. Okay? Because you will never go through it again. There is nothing, preparing for Nidan, preparing for Sana, whatever, those were not like preparing for Shodan. There are some details that need to be worked on. We need to make sure that you do the Ikkyu pin before Ikkyo's and not the Ikkyu pin. You know, those are details that you have time to work on. Okay, you know, those are details that need to be secondary, because those are the things that will tell Aikido Sensei that yes, you have that deep fundamental understanding of what's the shape that characterizes Ikkyu, what's the shape that characterizes Ikkyu. And the same thing with the Sanki and the Pure. It's time to work on it. The weapons, kata, the weapons takeaway look very good, particularly given that it's at the end of your test when you're butt tired and running out of gas. Okay. Everything you did looked like Aikido. None of it sort of fell apart to the level of just being grappling. I don't take that for granted, because I've seen way too many tests where it did fall, you know, where some part of it fell, you know, degenerated into grappling. Nothing that you did looked like that. Everything looked like